Hi, this is Deborah Roth from Spirited Living and back for another installation, the fourth month in my What's Your JQ series, my vlog series at the Wellness Universe. What's your joy intelligence? Been having so much fun with this. And I will say right off the bat, if you are watching this anywhere else but the Wellness Universe, please be sure to go to thewellnessuniverse.com and check out their many offerings, whether you are looking for wellness professionals to uplift mind, body, heart, or spirit, or if you are a wellness professional yourself and you want to have a platform to connect with other like-minded spirits and to offer your wonderful courses and brilliance. So that's my very hearty plug for the Wellness Universe. And here this month, I'm just delighted to kind of have fun with the whole joy intelligence, the whole joy cue, continue to have fun with my exploration. This month, we are going to be looking at what I call the many flavors of joy. And what I mean by that is that, yes, I will also share, I hope I'll have time by the end to also share a chair of joy, which I've talked about the last 2 months, because it's really such a foundational piece for building your JQ, elevating your JQ for mind, body, heart wellness. And that's not the only way, obviously. And what I love about looking at the flavors of joy, as I love to call them, like a yummy ice cream store, with all the many creative, inspirational flavors that you can find. There are so many different ways that we can identify joy if we make the commitment to, if we are intentional about looking for moments of joy just in our everyday life, in our everyday work. And yes, it is very powerful to take a moment in the morning or whenever you're feeling stressed or you need to change the energy to do a very quick chair of joy. Just look at installments 2 and 3 for more information about how to do the chair of joy and what the benefits are and what the neuroscience is behind it. But this, I think, I would say I'm probably a really good example of someone who has lived joy for a good part of my life. When I first got my coach training 25 years ago, something like that, one of the core values, when I had to do all these exercises about what my core values are, one of my core values, probably my top one, was joy. Since my oldest grandchild was born in 2017. I now have 3 yummy ones. I call them my joy pills. The time that I spend with them, there can be all kinds of craziness going on in the world. And if I can just sink into being 100% present for them, it is like medicine. They are my joy pills. So that's one example of looking for it just in everyday life. Now, some of the other ones that have come up for me, and I labeled them just playfully, but even though some of these you'll see aren't necessarily playful moments, I'm going to share a few of them with you here in the video, and you can refer to the description that goes along with it for more ideas. And I want you to come up with some of your own too. So I'm going to look at some of these too, so I don't forget them. One of the most beautiful ones that occurred to me, or that I named, was what I called poignant joy. And this was this very paradoxical moment, really in one of my earlier chairs of joy that I did for myself after I was introduced to this a year and a half ago or something now. And the moment of joy that came up in the sit, breathe, think, feel experience, the moment of joy that came up was being in the parking lot of the hospice where we were all tailgating when my wonderful 21-year-old nephew was dying. And in fact, 2 days later, he died. And I thought, well, how did that come up as a moment of joy when I did, my chair of joy? And I realized that was as heartbreaking, as devastating as that time was, as that memory was. It was also, I get choked up thinking about it. It was also such a sweetly, horribly joyful moment for my family to be there for each other and some of his closest friends, and to be there for him. So poignant joy, there's a thought for you. And I'll go the other ones I won't. There's a couple of other ones that I mentioned in the description, in the video description or the blog, and you can think of them yourself and then go read about them. Joy of freedom, wonder-filled joy, ordinary joy. Those four, including poignant joy, I mentioned in the blog at the Wellness Universe and also in the YouTube description. Not mentioned in the blog is something that came out of watching this wonderful video of Tara Davis Woodhall when she won her Olympic gold, and she jumps into her husband's arm. And what I called, that's the joy of success. And I'm sure you can think of many like that, where people are celebrating something that they have just, some astounding thing, or maybe a little success that they've experienced. So I called that the joy of success. And I asked a bunch of friends, what are moments of joy for you that just kind of happen every day? I'm not a big chocolate person, but I've got several friends who are, and they talked about chocolate joy, the joy of chocolate, because for them, it's just this so yummy, special thing that they can do to uplift their spirits, to just have this moment to just pause and taste it and just relish that. For them, again, I don't hate chocolate, but I'm not a chocoholic like they are, but that's chocolate joy for them. Another one might be activist joy. In the years that I founded an organization, a little not-for-profit church group where we raised lots of money over 15 years to support organizations who work to empower women and to end violence against women. And I loved this quote from Rebecca Solnit. If you don't know her books, definitely check her out. Joy doesn't betray, but sustains activism. And joy doesn't betray, but sustains activism. So, activist joy. The last one that I'll come up with you now, and I want you to come up with a whole bunch more, is Taylor music joy. Looking at the joy that Swifties all across generations have at her concerts, just watching her music. And I'm sure you have maybe more than one musician, more than one performer that just makes your heart and soul open up with joyful singing. So there's a kind of silly one for you. So what about you? What creative, unexpected flavors of joy do you experience? And maybe you can be on the lookout for them going forward. So let's take a moment to just do a quick little chair of joy. See if something comes up there that you can bring into your portfolio of new flavors of joy. So I invite you to close your eyes in the sit part of the 4 stages: sit, breathe, think, feel. Imagine yourself in one of your favorite chairs, might be the one that you're sitting in, and just sink into it. Really feel the space that chair creates for you, both inner space and outer space. And now breathe into that space. A few deep breaths. And you can review last month's installment to know about the science of why sit and breathe. And then the next is to think how this process, how this chair of joy process, these 4 steps, brings you to a really powerful place. So think now of a moment. Just let something percolate, something bubble up, from a week ago, from several weeks ago, from your childhood, just a moment of pure joy. Don't question it. And let yourself experience it. Bring back the feelings that you had there. Really feel it viscerally. Who are you with? Or maybe you're by yourself. What are you seeing, tasting, hearing? Just recreate that environment, and then recreate the feelings that you had in that environment. Was it one of the ones we've talked about? Awe, or music, or what are some of the qualities of the joy in that moment? And really hold them. Really, you can even imagine, sometimes I imagine them in a pool at my feet so that I can imagine all those feelings flowing up my body, filling my entire body, my whole body with all those feelings of joy, and then even letting them burst out over my head like a fountain. And just revel in that. Revel in the feelings under that umbrella of joy that you have manifested, that you have recalled, that you have remembered in your moment of joy. And carry that with you. Carry those feelings, carry that joy with you for the rest of the day. I'd love to hear about your Chair of Joy experience. I'd love to hear about any of the flavors of joy that you can come up with. And I hope you'll join me back here next month when we'll be looking at positive psychology, Martin Seligman, and we're going to be looking over the next few months at different types of intelligence to show how joy intelligence is really part and parcel of everyone. It really sustains and integrates and weaves so beautifully with all the various types of intelligence that we've been introduced to before joy intelligence. Thanks for joining me, and have a joyful month.